Loneliness is a complex and often misunderstood emotion. It's not just about being alone. It's about feeling alone. It's a subjective experience where one perceives a gap between their desired and actual social relationships. You might be surrounded by people and still feel lonely, or be physically alone and feel perfectly content. This week is Loneliness Awareness Week, and that is why I'm talking about this. I'm Sinta Ebersohn, and I make these videos in response to questions and inquiries I often encounter when mentoring clients. These are real issues most of us deal with or have to face at some point in our lives, and I hope to provide you with new perspective and insight. Please like and subscribe my channel to help me reach more people, and share this video with others in your life who will appreciate the value. To put it simply, being alone is a physical state, while loneliness is an emotional one. You can be alone feeling happy and not lonely at all. And conversely, you can feel lonely even when you're in a crowd. The impact of loneliness is profound and far-reaching. Consider these staggering statistics. Loneliness increases your risk of death by 26%. It's worse for your health than obesity. It's a significant risk factor for depression, especially later in life. And loneliness and social isolation put individuals at greater risk of cognitive decline and dementia. It's also linked to a 30% increase in the risk of stroke or coronary artery disease. It's surprising, isn't it? These facts highlight how critical it is to address loneliness. Let's look at who is most affected. And here are some stats from the UK. Young adults aged between 16 and 29 are twice as likely as those over 70 to experience loneliness. Now, who would have thought that? Those who are widowed, have poorer health, or live with long-term illness or disability are also more likely to feel lonely. And in England, 45% of adults report feeling lonely occasionally, sometimes or often. And that is 25 million people. Disconnected communities could be costing the UK economy £32 billion every year. The number of over 50s experiencing loneliness is projected to reach 2 million by 2025 or 2026. That is up to 1.4 million that it was in 2016, 2017. That's a 49% increase in just 10 years. 500,000 older people go at least 5 or 6 days a week without seeing or speaking to anyone. And 2/5 of all older people, that's about 3.9 million people, say that television is their main company. The signs and symptoms of loneliness can vary. They may include feelings of sadness, a lack of motivation, a sense of emptiness, and even physical symptoms like sleep disturbances or a changing appetite. So it's important to differentiate between the different types of loneliness. There's emotional loneliness that stems from the absence of a close, intimate relationship. And then there's social loneliness that occurs when someone lacks a wider social network or a community that they belong to. And then we have situational loneliness, which might be triggered by a specific event, like moving to a new city or losing a loved one. But what causes loneliness? It can be a mix of factors, including life changes, physical isolation, mental health issues, and societal factors. Nearly anyone can experience loneliness, but certain groups are more at risk, including the elderly, caregivers, and those with chronic illnesses. So loneliness and social isolation are related but distinct. Social isolation is an objective lack of social contact, whereas loneliness is the subjective feeling of being alone. Both can have serious health impacts, but they require different solutions. Now, you might wonder, is it normal to feel lonely? Yes, it's a common human experience. Should you be ashamed of it? Absolutely not. Loneliness is a signal, much like hunger or thirst, indicating a need for connection. So as you probably know by now, I often like to take history, anthropology, and sociology into account. So let's explore how various cultures perceive and address loneliness and delve into the historical context of this profound human emotion. Historically, loneliness has always been a part of the human experience. In ancient times, humans lived in close-knit communities and tribes where social bonds were crucial for survival. Isolation often meant danger and vulnerability, which explains why the feeling of loneliness can be so distressing. It's deeply rooted in our evolutionary history. And in these early societies, community and kinship were paramount. Rituals, communal living, and shared responsibilities helped mitigate feelings of loneliness. Festivals, storytelling, and collective ceremonies were not just cultural activities, but also essential ways to foster connection and reduce isolation. During the medieval period in Europe, the structure of feudal societies meant people lived in close proximity, often within the same villages or towns for their entire lives. The church played a central role in community life, offering not only spiritual solace, but also social gatherings and support networks. So loneliness was addressed through these tight-knit community structures and religious institutions. Now let's explore how different cultures around the world view and deal with loneliness today. In Japan, the concept of hikikomori describes individuals who withdraw from social life, often staying isolated at home for months or even years. This phenomenon is partly driven by societal pressures and the intense demands of work and education. To address loneliness, Japan has seen the rise of services like rent-a-friend companies, where individuals can hire someone to accompany them to social events or simply spend time with them. Additionally, intergenerational living arrangements and community centers aim to foster connections among different age groups. In Scandinavian countries, despite high levels of individualism, there is a strong emphasis on community and social welfare. Concepts like hygge in Denmark and friluftsliv in Norway promote well-being through cozy communal experiences and outdoor activities, respectively. Now, these cultural practices help to create a sense of belonging and mitigate feelings of loneliness even during long, dark winters. In contrast, in many African cultures, community and family are integral to daily life. So traditional extended family systems and communal living help to ensure that individuals are rarely alone. Ceremonies, festivals, and community gatherings are vital for social cohesion. And when individuals do experience loneliness, they are often surrounded by a supportive network that steps in to provide companionship and support. Now, in Latin American cultures, who are known for their warmth and their expressiveness, also place a high value on family and community. They have regular family gatherings, vibrant festivals, and close-knit neighborhood relationships that play a crucial role in preventing and addressing loneliness. The culture's emphasis on social interaction and communal living helps to maintain strong social bonds. In the Middle East, however, hospitality and community are deeply ingrained values. Family ties are strong, and it's common for multiple generations to live together or in close proximity. So social gatherings, again, religious practices and community events provide regular opportunities for interaction and support, and that helps to counteract feelings of loneliness. If we look at North America, the approach to loneliness varies widely. While individualism is a significant cultural aspect, There are many community initiatives aimed at fostering connection, from neighborhood associations to support groups and community centers. Efforts are made to bring people together. Technology also plays a crucial role because it offers both solutions for connection through social media and challenges by sometimes exacerbating feelings of isolation. So across different cultures, we see a common thread, the need for connection and community. While the ways of achieving this may differ, the underlying human desire to belong and to be understood remains universal. Historically and today, humans have developed various strategies to manage loneliness, from communal living and religious practices to modern support networks and even technological solutions. By understanding how different societies view and manage loneliness, we can learn valuable lessons and find new ways to connect, to support each other, and to build resilient communities. So now that we have a thorough understanding of loneliness, it's important to delve into the trauma responses and certain behavioral patterns that can contribute to feelings of isolation and loneliness. Trauma can significantly impact our ability to connect with others, and it often leads to a cycle of loneliness that can be challenging and very difficult to break. For example, hypervigilance and trust issues. Individuals who have experienced trauma, particularly interpersonal trauma, may develop hypervigilance and trust issues. They may constantly be on alert for potential threats, making it difficult to relax and form trusting relationships. And this heightened state of alertness can lead to social withdrawal and isolation. Then we have avoidance behaviors. Now, trauma survivors often engage in avoidance behaviors to protect themselves from reminders of their trauma. This might include avoiding social situations, withdrawing from friends and family, or even avoiding leaving their home. While these behaviors may provide temporary relief, they can also lead to prolonged feelings of loneliness and isolation. Emotional numbing is another example. After experiencing trauma, some individuals may feel emotionally numb or even detached. And this numbing can make it very difficult to connect with others on an emotional level. It leads to feelings of disconnection and loneliness, even when they are surrounded by people. Negative self-perception is something that trauma can also significantly impact. I'm talking about our self-esteem and our self-worth. Individuals may develop a negative self-perception, believing they are unworthy of love and connection, and this can result in withdrawing from social interactions and reinforcing feelings of loneliness. Then there's social anxiety. Experiencing trauma can lead to social anxiety, where some individuals feel intense fear or discomfort in social situations. And this anxiety can prevent them from engaging in social activities, further contributing to isolation and loneliness. And difficulty with intimacy is another example. Trauma, especially from abuse or neglect, can make it very challenging for individuals to form intimate relationships. They might struggle with physical or emotional closeness, and that leads to feelings of loneliness, even within romantic or close relationships. Reenactment of trauma patterns is another example. Sometimes trauma survivors unconsciously reenact patterns from their past, including isolating themselves as a way to avoid potential harm. And this reenactment can perpetuate the cycles of loneliness and prevent them from forming healthy, supportive relationships. And then there's shame and guilt. Now, many trauma survivors experience intense feelings of shame and guilt, believing they are responsible for their trauma. And these feelings can make them withdraw from others, fearing judgment or rejection, which exacerbates loneliness. Again, understanding these trauma responses and behavioral patterns is crucial in addressing loneliness. If you or someone you know is struggling with these issues, it's important to seek support. Therapy and counseling can provide effective strategies to manage trauma responses and to help rebuild connections. So please remember, reaching out for help is a brave step towards healing and connection. Whether through professional support, community groups, or trusted friends and family, there are many paths to overcoming loneliness and building a more connected and fulfilling life. So what can you do if you're feeling lonely? Here are some steps that will help. Reach out. Talk to friends or family members. Even a short conversation can make a big difference. Engage in activities, join clubs, volunteer, or engage in hobbies that interest you. Seek support. This is something you hear me say so often. Professional help such as therapy or counseling can provide you with strategies to cope with loneliness. And also practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Understand that loneliness is a common but a temporary feeling. And if you know someone who is lonely, you can help by being present. Sometimes just being there for someone can alleviate their loneliness. By listening, offer a compassionate ear without judgment, and encourage social interaction. Invite them to social activities or suggest community resources to them. And also check in regularly with those people, because consistent small gestures can show them that you care. The best thing you can do for yourself and your loved ones is to sign up and join my Get Up and Grow community online. We are immersed in a culture of lifelong learning, which cultivates resilience in all aspects of life, and you'll receive weekly chunks of valuable information like this video and other resources. Remember, addressing loneliness is not just about alleviating discomfort. It's about fostering connections and building resilience. By reaching out and supporting each other, we can create a community where no one feels truly alone. So to wrap it up, I want to leave you with a special challenge for Loneliness Awareness Week. This challenge is simple but powerful, and it's something each of us can do to make a meaningful difference. So I challenge you to take one step or make one gesture every day this week to reach out and connect with someone. And here are some ideas to get you started. Call a family member. Pick up the phone and call a relative you haven't spoken to in a while. It could be a grandparent, a cousin, or an aunt, but let them know that you are thinking of them. Or send a handwritten note. We'll write a heartfelt note or a letter to a friend. In this digital age, a handwritten message can be incredibly touching and personal. Or you can invite a neighbor to coffee. Reach out to a neighbor and invite them over for a cup of coffee or tea. It's a wonderful way to strengthen community bonds and get to know those people who are living around you. You can also volunteer your time. Offer your time at a local charity or a community center or a shelter. Volunteering not only helps others, but it also fosters a sense of connection and purpose for ourselves. Or you can plan a group activity. Organize a small get-together with friends, family, or co-workers. It could be a game night, a picnic, a walk in the park, or whatever you enjoy doing. You can also check in on a colleague, send a message, or have a quick chat with a co-worker. Ask how they're doing and if they need any support. Sometimes a simple, "How are you?" can make a big difference. Remember to listen to their response. Practice random acts of kindness is also something you can do. Do something kind for a stranger. It could be as simple as offering a smile, holding the door open, or paying for someone's coffee. Kindness is contagious and it helps to create a more connected world. These small daily gestures can have a huge impact. By reaching out, we not only help others to feel less lonely, but we also enrich our own lives with deeper connection and a sense of community. So let's take this challenge together. Share your experiences and the difference you're making using the hashtag Loneliness Awareness Week challenge. Let's create a wave of connection and support that ripples through our communities. I'm going to be looking out for your hashtags Loneliness Awareness Week challenge. See you around.